Hey, and welcome to today's video. So I have Peter and myself here. Thanks for chiming in. And what we're looking for in today's video is we're doing a pitch breakdown for a Shark Tank investor here, or a Shark Tank individual who's going to be pitching his product. So we're going to break this pitch down. And this is good for anyone who is doing a pitch as a founder or anyone who is also making a case and doing any kind of pitch in their current work. So without further ado, we're going to be jumping around this video. Let's go ahead and get this pulled up. First part here is we're going to look at his beginning part. And there's some little parts of improvement we want to show you here.
My name is Dr. Juan Salinas, and I'm the founder and CEO of Perfect Life Nutrition. Sharks, I have a PhD in food science. For 25 years, I created snacks for some of the largest food companies.
All right, we'll go ahead and pause there real quick. So one of the things we want to highlight here is if you look, he is very tense in the mouth, and that tenseness comes across. So for him, he needs to improve that a little bit in his delivery. And Peter, what are your thoughts?
Awesome. Yeah, it's not a huge deal here. We're just talking about nuances. The tenseness is there, and you could probably feel it. Like when he was talking, you probably did this with your mouth, right? Because you're trying to be in rapport with this person, and your micro muscles are mirroring his micro muscles. So you have to be conscious of that. I would say, relax your jaw, massage it before you get on stage, practice smiling naturally with your eyes, so you don't have to go stress out, and that's going to take you a long way. They say the first impression is very important, and this is what you're trying to achieve. Also, this guy raised money and he changed that perception later. This also tells you that first perceptions can change. Like, even though this was tense, he overcame it later in his presentation, and you'll see why.
Exactly. And so we just want to point out that first part, but we also think he did a really good job on this next part, the hook here coming up. So we're going to jump to that here real quick.
How about that? Because I'm not just a doctor. I'm also a former competitive bodybuilder.
Oh, now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Me.
And I care what I put in my body.
All right, so we'll go ahead and pause there. Again, just jumping around. So you can see, obviously, maybe he was a little bit tense in the beginning there, but what a great hook. I mean, just ripping his shirt off. You can't get more entertaining, more of a hook than that. You saw the reactions of the sharks.
Absolutely. And absolutely. That's what saved the first impression of tension. This relaxed the whole room. Now, don't think that you have to take off your shirt.
No.
This was a prop that was relevant for him during this pitch, and it's related to the product he's going to be talking about later.
And we actually don't recommend taking off your shirt at any point.
Never!
So, unless you're trying to pitch and it's super relevant to your product.
Exactly.
All right, so we'll go on here now. Next part, we're going to jump to him sharing his numbers. And this is really good to know for any kind of pitch, to know your numbers and to be aware of what you're working on.
Sugar is in this stuff.
3 grams in the retail area, 3 very low.
What's the price for these at retail, and what's it cost you to make?
So at retail, we sell between $3.29 and $3.99, which is...
All right, so right there, immediately rattled off those numbers without even hesitation. That means he studied them, he practiced them, he knew the question was coming, and he was ready for it.
Yeah.
In line with every...
Go ahead, Peter. Yeah.
And notice the energy, like his hands are in his waist. He's balanced. He's centered when he's sharing the numbers, and that gives a lot of credibility to the numbers.
Exactly. Just relaxed about it.
Everything else on the healthy snack area.
Okay.
It costs $170.
170
to the
landed.
distributor. It cost me to make 75 cents.
Hello. Okay, 170 to distributor.
55%.
All right. And again, right there, knows the numbers, knows what he's going to be asked, and is just simply explaining it. Like Peter said, you look at his body language.
On the healthy.
Just very casual.
Yeah. And talking of numbers, I know this comes in handy when you're raising money. Also, it comes in handy when you're pitching a project at work. or when you're having a discussion with your team, like it's important to know the numbers. It's important to know your OKRs and KRs, and it's important to know the feature you implemented, what improvements it made, percentages, and that's going to make you look sharp and really like a person that really knows what they're talking about. So it's really important to always look at numbers and share them in your presentations.
Exactly. And it's not like he remembered 100 different numbers. He remembered 3 to 5 key numbers that he knew was going to get asked about his work. So same thing for you. You don't have to remember every single detail. Remember a couple of the most important number details or the specifics. All right, we'll continue on here. Now we're going to go into his story. So as we go into his story here, we'll see some other areas of improvement.
Juan, did you say you're a doctor, nutritionalist, and a bodybuilder?
Yes.
What's your story?
So I came here when I was 16 years old. I'm from Honduras, and I came really to realize the American dream. I didn't know English. I flew right into Newark, New Jersey.
All right, so we'll just pause this real quick. Already it's a little bit scattered, so just having a little more of conciseness in that beginning part of his story. What are your thoughts, Peter?
This is a testament to the power of story. Even though you're credible, even though you know your numbers, people want to invest in people. So they're always curious about their personal story. So it's important to share a relevant story about you every once in a while to humanize you. And the purpose of it is not to gain credibility. The purpose of it is to relate to people. And I think that's the mistake he makes. I think he goes into relatability and then he tries to get credibility as well, which he already has. He doesn't have to push for more. And I think we'll see that in the next clip.
Yeah, and here's the next segment of his story for that credibility part.
And I wanted to go back home.
I don't blame you.
My dad really instilled into us that education was the most important thing, and that's what I did. I went to Rutgers University. I got my degree there with honors. Then I got my master's in food science and a PhD in food science.
Wow.
I worked.
So right there, that's it. That's his credibility. That's perfect. And his story, like Peter was saying, could have been more attuned to relatability and instead of focused purely on credibility. All right, and we'll continue on here.
I worked for the largest food company in the United States. Then I worked for the second largest food company. And then I became the go-to guy because I was combining chocolates with gels and puddings and bars and cereals.
So you were a formulator?
All right. So go ahead and pause there. So yeah, Peter, go ahead.
Awesome. Yeah. So this story has a lot of good elements. I would just trim it back and I would leave the last part out. For example, I would say, I immigrated here from Honduras, came to New York. I immediately wanted to go back. That was good. That was humorous, very relatable. And then I would keep the part about dad instilled the power of education in us. And I got my degree, my master's and PhD in food science. That's good. And then I would say the next part, I would summarize it. I would say I went from there, I worked at several companies and I was always the go-to guy for combining nutrition with flavor. And I would have stuck there. Yeah.
And that's it. You know what? Definitely, he already established his credibility because he had mentioned he is bodybuilder, PhD in food science. He had obviously created this product. His credibility, I think, is there. So he needed to tap into his relatability. And what Peter and I are saying is that's where he missed the ball a little bit there because he from Honduras coming to New York, having that family life, he could have expanded a little more on that to have that more relatability. But other than that, just total summary of it, he did a really good job with it. And we'll put the link, so if you want to continue on, watch the rest of the video. We just wanted to give you these 4 key highlight moments of, one, just him coming in a little bit tense in the mouth, just to relax that and remember to bring the eyes to smile. Then the second part, he had a great hook. Now for you, you don't have to take off your shirt. That's not what we're saying, but keep a hook relevant to what you're talking about. And it could even just be simple as a funny sentence to just hook people in. And then again, in the third part there, his numbers, he knows the key parts he wants to talk about and is going to get asked about. So for you, just remember a few key items for pitching your idea, pitching your business, or any kind of situation where you're making a case. And then finally, in his story, to make it more relatable instead of purely for credibility. Although the credibility part is good, if you're telling your personal story, you want to make sure the goal is relatability. Other than that, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. If you want to join our training or learn what we're doing to improve your communication skills, check us out, magneticspeaking.com, where you can get one-on-one coaching or take some group classes with us to enhance your communication skills so you're better at work and feel better in your overall life. Other than that, we'll see you next time.